Any written comments sent to staff were forwarded to the commission directly. At this time, I'd like to introduce our staff. We have Jimbo Woodson, Deputy City Attorney, Michael Garner, City Engineer, Zach Pons, Director of Planning, Leota Coyne, Planner, Lily McIntyre, Special Projects Coordinator. There are 9 members of the Planning Commission, all who were appointed by the mayor for staggered terms, with the exception of the City Council representative who is appointed by the City Council. I ask the commission members to introduce themselves and state their occupation. Starting with returning, Mr. Rumsey.
Stephen Rumsey, business owner.
Dina Prince, attorney.
Vince Dooley, UA Campus Planning.
Tim Harrison, general contractor.
Ann Hornsby, attorney.
Eddie Pugh, retired.
Bill Wright, business owner. There were sign-up sheets located outside for public comment. 4 speakers are allowed to speak in favor of a petition, and 4 speakers are allowed to speak in opposition of a petition. All speakers will have a maximum of 5 minutes unless the commission votes to allow a longer time. Tonight's procedures. The commission will take up items in the order of our final agenda. The commission will initially receive a presentation from the staff as to the details of the agenda item. Additionally, we may hear certain matters involving the same property, such as an annexation and a zoning matter concurrently, although we will take separate votes on each matter involving the same property. After the staff presentation, we'll then call upon the petitioner to present their case. The petitioner will have a maximum of 10 minutes unless the commission votes to allow a longer time. At the conclusion of the petitioner's remarks, we'll then call upon any party in order of sign-up who desires to support the petition. Thereafter, we'll call upon anybody in order of sign-up, those who oppose the petition. When it's your turn for comment, please introduce yourself, stating your name and address to the commission. To provide any remarks, any written comments have been included into the record. After receiving the remarks of those who oppose the petitioner will have the opportunity to respond to any of those objections. Any rebuttal will be limited to 2 minutes unless the commission votes to allow a longer time. If the petitioner presents any new information in response to the objections, the commission will allow those who oppose the petition the opportunity to respond to the new information only. Any response will be limited to 2 minutes unless the commission votes to allow a longer time. During the course of this presentation, you may be interrupted by any member of the commission for clarification or additional information. Such interruptions will not reduce your time. Once the commission members are satisfied that they have received all relevant information, we'll then close further discussion by the public, at which time the commission members will discuss the matter and then vote. After the vote, you are free to leave. These proceedings are video recorded and broadcast live. All in-person public comments should be made at the podium into the microphone. Jurisdiction. In all matters pertaining to the following items, this commission serves as the final authority. Subdivisions located within city limits, subdivisions located outside the city limits but within the city's planning jurisdiction, and developments with a special district, and approval letters for developments in historic buffer zones. As to all remaining agenda matters, including annexations, rezonings, planned developments, and street vacations, this commission serves as a recommending body to the City Council. In that regard, our decisions are in the form of a recommendation to be presented to the City Council. The City Council will make the final decision on those matters. Subdivision approvals require the affirmative vote of 6 members of the Planning Commission. All matters which are recommendations to the City Council require a majority vote for an affirmative recommendation. At this time, I'd ask, do any members of the Commission have any conflicts of interest as to any agenda matters tonight? If so, please state for the record. Having heard none, I will ask staff to confirm on the record that proper notice has been given to all parties in interest as required by law as to all matters before the Commission tonight.
It has.
Okay. With that, we'll begin the approval of the minutes. As the Planning and Zoning Commission has received the synopsis of the April 2025 meeting, I move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the same unless there are any deletions, additions, or corrections. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. We will start.
Good evening, Commission. Starting with the consent agenda tonight, we have 5 cases here. We did not have anyone sign up out front, though I did not see a sign-in sheet for S5025, so just want to make sure no one's here for that one.
Is anyone here in the audience to speak on any of these consent agenda matters? Having heard none. Commission, before us, we have 5 items for the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it.
All right, moving into our cases requesting to continue, we have 1 case, that's S4925, and the petitioner is here to request that continuance.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Bobby Herndon, 2728 Lurleen Wallace Boulevard, Northport. We would like to get this item continued. We're working out some issues with the county as far as an access easement, and we should have the results before the next meeting.
Okay. For the record, we do have 4 people that are here present, have signed to speak.
Okay.
We normally let them have their chance to say a few words, and that you can hear them, and maybe you can meet with them afterwards to address those for them.
Yes, sir.
Okay, who do we have to sign up to speak?
Mr. Chairman, first person is Jeff Akers.
Good evening. I'd like to thank y'all for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Name and address for the record.
My name is Jeff Akers. I live at 5221 Holt Peterson Road. I am 67 years old. I've lived on Holt Peterson Road for 63 years. I've lived on it so long it was dirt. We didn't have city water. The road is maintained less now than when it was dirt. It's deteriorating. None of the brush is ever cut on the side of the road. Mr. Waltham opposed the Eastern Bypass Bridge for the last 30 years, which would have eased a lot of the traffic along the road. My brother and I own over 1,000 feet of road footage. The amount of traffic that's on that road with that narrow, crooked road is unbelievable. There are 13 curves, in less than a mile to get to the property where he's wanting to put this subdivision. And I would suggest that any of you guys ride down that road just to see how curvy it is, to experience it yourself. Like I said, I've been there since I was 3 years old. I've seen what's happened. The population has increased. There's a lot more people live over there now than's ever lived over there. Used to, most of the property owners, there were like 10 at the most. I knew all of them. They're nearly all gone now. And they've sold the land to just whoever and whatever. And it's deteriorating the life experience over there. It used to be a peaceful, quiet community. Now it's not anymore. Thank you. Y'all have a good evening.
Mr. Chairman, the next person is Libby Fowler.
Hello. I'm Elizabeth Fowler. I live at 5400 Hope Peterson Road, next to the property he's talking about doing a subdivision. My parents actually owned that land back in 1961. My dad passed away. My mom sold part of it to another gentleman, and that's how Mr. Watkins became a partial owner of that property. Now, when my dad was alive, we had horses down there. We tried to keep the wildlife. We didn't want to disturb them because we have deers that come up. I literally feed the deers out of my hands. And I don't want to see the wildlife go away because they're taking the woods down, disturbing the wildlife. Furthermore, we got a lot of traffic already on that road. Early in the mornings, that includes speeders, and it is marked for 30 miles per hour, but most of them does not do 30. They do more, and we have a high rate of cars coming up and down the road the mornings and the evenings, That's excluding the football games, because our County Road 88, as they refer to it, that is a shortcut for out-of-towners for our football season. And it's car after car after car after car. You can't even back out of your own driveway. Now we're talking about a subdivision to add more traffic, and we don't have city water, we don't have city sewage down there. So how's he gonna accommodate all the waste? Is he gonna put up septic tanks everywhere on the property to accommodate? You know, that's something we'd all like to know in our neighborhood and about our traffic. It wasn't long ago, to the next man that's gonna come up here and speak before y'all, his fence was totaled because a man come flying up and went off the road, coming up the wrong side of the road, and wiped this gentleman's fence out. We have high speeders that come through there, along with all the heavy traffic. That's one of our biggest concerns, is what you're gonna do about your traffic. Now, Mr. Watkins stopped that eastern bypass from coming through there, or fought it. But see, we wouldn't have that problem now. If he would have let that pass, that would have took care of most of the high traffic coming through there. But now he wants to do this to add more traffic in our area. And just remember, it's marked at 30 miles per hour. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, the next person is Joseph Burton. Bunton.
Good evening. Joseph Bunton, live at 5401 Hope Peterson Road. Lived there for 25 years. And the theme that I'm hearing is a theme that I wanted to bring to you about excessive speeding on that road, dangerous speeding, all through the day speeding. In June of 2024, I replaced 66 feet of chain link fence because a person lost control in the curb right in front of our house. It's not the fence. They came through where if you were visiting my home, where you parked at, it would have hit your car. It would have killed you. The pole on my fence went through the car and came out the trunk. Came out the trunk. 2 feet, the driver, if he had been 2 feet the other way, it would have went through him. So my concern is, will this subdivision, could it help with the traffic? I don't know. But I want to do the people know what they're getting into that want to build this subdivision in this area. I thank you for your time.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Chairman, the last person is like Alfred Boyd.
Alfred Boyd, 5308 Hope Peterson Road. I got to say, there's a lot of school buses that comes up through there on that little narrow road, and there ain't no fire hydrants down that way, none. Plus the impact on Harrison Creek, and I didn't think you could build anything on a power line. There's a bunch of power lines back there behind where they talking about building at, and that's all I got to say.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Mr. Herndon, I know that you're going to continue to ask for the continuance unless you want to address any of those matters, which I think you should probably take up with them outside or a later time.
Well, I'm not going to plead ignorance, but that's my partner's project, and I just asked to be continued. But as far as I know, there's only 3 to 4 lots total on the whole project, and it's, but I'll just wait till next time.
A lot of consideration. They did make an effort to be here tonight. We did let
Yes, sir.
them have their chance to speak.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for allowing that.
Can I ask you, what are the sewage plans?
It's on septic tank. There's already existing residences out there, and I don't have the plans for the plant with me because I just want to
Right.
ask for continuance.
Understand.
But there's just, I think, either 3 or 4 lots on the whole project, and there's already 3 or 4 residents out there. I appreciate you.
Okay. All right, Commission, before us, we have a continuance request for S 4925, the Diaz Watson subdivision. For those in the audience, you will be sent another notification at which time he comes back before with the project. So, that being said, all those in favor of continuance, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it, continued.
All right, Commission, moving into unfinished business. First up, we have a rezoning request, that is Z0925. Ricky Sherrod petitions to rezone approximately .56 acres located at 2835 and 2837 Culver Road from SFR2 to NC. This was continued from last month and is Council District 1. Here's that property here. You can see there's those two parcels from above that the petitioner would like to rezone. You can see both are SFR2 today. They would like to rezone to NC to match that corner parcel. Here is one of those parcels, and the other, moving the petition, the applicant would like to rezone from SFR2 to NC to allow for business growth. Here again are those parcels from Framework. This area was identified as suburban residential. This plan does not conform, nor does the use. Here are those two properties. You can see they're identified as suburban residential. Here are permitted uses in NC, highlighted in yellow. We did receive 2 public comments in April and 2 additional public comments before tonight's meeting. Do you have any questions for staff?
Is petitioner here? The petitioner of this request, please come forward. Okay. Since this was a continued request by the petitioner, and the petitioner has been attempted to communicate with our staff. The staff has made every effort to reach out to them. He is not here. Therefore, we have the right to take a vote on this matter. Would any member of the committee?
Is this the
This
property
is
with
the
the
one that had-
monuments?
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
And he was well informed that he'd have to build structures to store the items. I think that was not in his plans. That might be why he's not here this evening. So I'm not sure if it's pertinent for those who are in opposition to speak. But as the chairman, we do have the right to call for the vote.
There was somebody who raised her hand. Did you
We
see
do have
that?
3 people that want to speak, and y'all are more than welcome to speak if you would like, but
Good afternoon. I'm going to keep it short. I understand the petitioner is not here, so you all can go ahead and vote. I just wanted to put something on the record.
Name and
I'm
address for the
sorry.
record.
My name is Paul, P-A-U-L, last name Rollins. Address is 5226 Greenview Drive. For the petition, of course, last time they were saying that they wanted to use it for storage or what have you. And there's really no reason to rezone it for storage. You can still store things there, they just had to be inside. My request was going to be for it to be denied and reapplied to the zoning board of adjustment. That way, if they still wanted to rezone it to commercial, it'd be tied just for that particular use only, and not a situation where they're trying to rezone it and turn around and sell it as commercial for either profit or for the new owner to come in and won't have to go through this situation. And I just wanted to put that on the record. Thank you.
Paul, you saying you're for it or
I'm against it. Yes, sir.
anybody else want to speak?
All right, that being said, Commission, I think we all were in agreement last month that we didn't feel this was appropriate rezoning. And I felt like that based on the information we were sharing with the petitioner, I think it's obvious now at this point he is not interested in moving forward. But petition's before us, and I say we vote on the matter. If we vote to deny it, he cannot come back before this body for 6 months to ask any kind of rezoning request. That being said, does anyone else have any comments, or before I ask for a motion and a second?
is he not always supposed to be here or just not respond?
You know,
I think
supposed
both. I think
Yes,
both
and
is the
yes.
right answer. Okay, that being said, Commission, or not being said, Commission, before us, we have a rezoning request Z0925. Mr. Ricky Sherrod petition to rezone .56 acres at 2835 and 2837 Culver Road from SFR2 to NC. You have a motion and a second.
Motion.
Mr. Rumsey?
No.
No?
No.
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 No. Motion is declined.
All right, Commission, continuing with our unfinished business, we have a preliminary plat that is S3725 North Point, consisting of 37 residential lots and 3 open space lots. This is on approximately 71.2 acres located at 11009 Tiers Patton Road. This is not in city limits. This was continued from last month. You can see we're way far north here on the lake off of Tiers Patton. Here's that property today. You can see there's some lakes on the property and an existing structure. Here's our preliminary plat with contours and without. And to zoom in here to just show you the details, you can see they're proposing some private roads, putting those lots on open space, lakes on open space lots, and moving to the southern piece here. Fire has requested this update to the plat here. This is not in the packets. Should you vote to approve tonight, Fire would like to see this access road that's circled here, a condition on your approval tonight.
Say that
We
one more
have
time.
multiple variance requests here. We did not receive any public comment. Do you have any questions for staff?
Engineering on those variance requests. Can we pull this back up real quickly?
So we don't have any issues with these requests. These are, most of all, this is in the county, and they've gotten approval of these variances through the county commission.
So I guess my question to y'all, there was issue with the fire department bridge, and was there any other issues about the bridge sanitation, anything else that we needed to?
So Mr. McGuire can probably speak to that more in his conversation with Patrick Steins, our fire marshal. But this is what he has submitted after the packets were posted related to that conversation. And if approved, we'd want it with the condition that it'd be this updated plat.
With this, as this road is now?
Correct.
Accessing
Yes.
that lot 24.
And Mr. Steins is okay with that?
Yes, he has stated that he is okay with it.
All right. Petitioner?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm Michael McGuire with McGuire & Associates, or division of GSA. What you see before, and I'm representing Nixon Properties, what you see is the 37-lot subdivision we're planning to call North Point. It's going to be on septic systems. All the lots are 1 acre or better. Some are as big as 7 acres. Mainly going to pretty much be kind of an estate-sized lots. They're all going to be fairly large. Some of the things that we're doing to try to minimize disturbing things is lots are going to share on Tiers Patton, of course, are going to share a driveway. Lots 26, 7, and 8 are going to have a shared driveway. 23, 24, and 25 will have a shared driveway, and that's actually where the bridge is. Patrick and I went back and forth probably for a week trying to figure out the best way to, work out the fire apparatus road, and this is kind of what we came up with. Our client's fine with it, and fire marshal's fine with it as well. It's, I think, 71.2 acres and 37 lots.
I'm assuming these roads that you're building are paved.
Yes. The roads will meet county specs, but they're going to be private. Seems to me a lot of developers are starting to go that way. County has been allowing it. We did go before the county commission and get approval to do this, so we've already been down that road. So,
And who maintains it? Who is responsible?
the homeowners association will. So there's, we just did Hilltop Estates not too terribly long ago that's immediately to the west and did the exact same thing.
Are you gonna do the binder layer and then when the lots are built out, come back and do the wearing circle?
Of course, that'll be up to our client. Most people have gotten where they're putting down both layers. So I would think he would probably put down both layers.
Okay.
So the road that's, the access road now that you're talking about building for fire, that's gonna come off of that, was that Hilltop Road?
Yes.
Okay, that's gonna be cutting through, or is it, it's cutting on the back side or front side, maybe, I guess you could say, of 21, 2, 3. Is that correct? Is that?
Yes.
That's,
And I'm sure what we'll do is probably make, as it goes across 21 and 22, we'll make that their driveway. And then the rest of it from that point on, we'll do a,
so is that road going across their property lines, or is the property line gonna be the road?
no, it does go across. The fire apparatus road is actually going to be in a fire easement, so.
Okay, so it's gonna be an easement on 22, 20, 21, 22, 23, and, okay, so
Yes.
that's on the back side, or we might say the front side. The road that connects to 24, that's also gonna go across lot 23, is that right?
Yes, there's actually, to serve 24, there's an existing driveway that goes across that bridge and comes up to the house that's on the property. And that's the way 24 will be accessed. 22 and 21 will be accessed off the fire apparatus road. But 23, 4, and 5 will be accessed from the existing driveway that's there now.
Is that segment of that lot still 23 where that road goes across?
Yeah, and we'll have an ingress egress easement as it goes across those lots.
So what's it?
Well, of course, and that's up to Mr. Nixon. And I'm saying he probably will, because everybody's, just it's cheaper to do it that way. But I'm sure if they're worried about tearing the roads up, they may wait and do it in, a year after they put the initial layer down. But it's private, so it'll be his responsibility if it doesn't hold up. Yes.
Can't read it very well, but like, can you draw the property line between 25 and 23? All these different lines, I'm trying to figure out what they are.
25 and 23.
See,
It kind of, it basically just follows around. You can kind of see how it makes a couple of breaks.
yeah,
And they actually go, you can see the flag portion actually goes back to Tiers Patton Farm Road. So technically, those lots have.
that's the property line you're drawing?
Yes, correct.
Those are access easements?
Well, those are actually flag portions of those lots, so they have frontage on Tiers Patton Road so that they will meet the subdivision regulations.
So,
And we're trying to do that, to be honest with you, to leave 23, 24, and 25 kind of larger estate size lots, especially because of the existing houses there. They were wanting to basically renovate it and sell it again, of course.
so there's an easement, there's like 2 easements, right?
Well, yes, and now there will be an ingress egress easement across the driveway that'll serve those lots.
So between those 2 red lines, that's an easement too, or who?
Well, where the
owns that
existing
property?
driveway is will actually be an ingress egress easement.
That one you got kind of gravelly looking there?
Yes,
That's there now.
yes,
You're gonna make that
the ingress egress easement. The county allows you to serve 3 lots off of 1 ingress egress easement, so that's why we're doing it this way.
I think the confusion a little bit is in between the red, they're not putting that driveway. And so it kind of, they're using a flag lot to get their street frontage requirement, but they're not using that for their drive. They're not putting the drive in that little flag lot. So it kind of makes it look weird, but they'll have an easement where that red line just was, and then that part that touches, what is that, something Farm Road?
Tiers Patton.
Tiers
Farm
Patton
Road.
Farm Road, is literally just there for their public street frontage to meet that requirement.
So it's going to belong to Lot 24?
That's right.
Okay, thank you. That helps.
Who's gonna cut the grass?
I hope,
Where our
I
lawn
hope
won't cut an
the
easement.
23,
No
24,
kidding.
and 25 do.
what's that condition? There was a comment made about the bridge that's there currently. Is that,
I'm sorry.
there's a bridge there currently, correct?
There's what?
A bridge.
Oh, yes, there is. I'm sorry. And the reason we're doing the fire apparatus road is the bridge is more of a residential than a commercial bridge. I don't know that a fire truck could get across it safely.
Zach, does something have to be noted that says that they will maintain, the neighborhood or whoever will maintain the roads? We need to
Be part of the HOA
point that
document.
out to where,
Yeah, there's a fairly standard note that goes on final subdivision plats where private roads are approved by the county commission that basically states that it is private and that there's no obligation from the county or any one other municipality to make any repairs.
but it's noted that they have to make repairs. I don't want to go up there 10 years from now and the road all to pieces.
We're more concerned about saying that we're not doing anything than we are about telling them they've got to do something.
That's on the developer side. This is obviously, what we're seeing now is not what we're going to vote on because it's different. This is what we saw in the chair, vice chair meeting. You might want to pull back up what we're going to actually be voting on because it doesn't look the same. Because there was a cul-de-sac there. Okay, so this is what fire wants us to
Right, yeah,
approve
this one
condition.
shows.
This is what we're going to have that fire access road, for lack of a better word, right?
Right.
Which is going to protect 21 through 25, correct?
That's correct.
Correct.
It's a different one.
I'm sorry?
Very different.
It's gonna look good.
It's all good.
Mr. McGuire, you have a very creative mind.
It's gonna look good. It's a pretty piece of property.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions for the petitioner? All right. Anyone time to speak for or against? Mr. Harrison?
I'm sorry, no, nobody signed it.
All right, no one has signed to speak for or against. Would anyone care to speak for or against? Okay, having heard none. I think in our chair, vice chair, we actually got a call with Mr. Steins about this issue, so if he's okay with this and we'll make it part of the record, then that's what we'll do. Is there any, again, last minute questions for staff of the commission, of the staff, or the petitioner? Having heard, all right, commission, before us, we have S 3725 North Point, consisting of 37 residential lots, 3 open space lots on 11009 Tierce Patton Farm Road with 6 variance requests. Engineering has no issues with. However, there is for the record, we need to make a conditional approval on the fire access road for lots 21 through 25, based on the petitioner and Mr. Steins, our fire marshal's agreement. That being said, do I have a motion and a second?
Motion. Second.
Ms. Hornsby?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion approved.
All right, Commission, moving into our cases to be heard tonight. First up, we have a preliminary plat that is S 4625, a resurvey of lots 15 and 16, Block 1, Warrior Heights. This is consisting of one lot on approximately .18 acres located at 612 5th Street Northeast. This is Council District 5. You can see we're just west of the Jack Warner McFarland Boulevard East Interchange. Excuse me, cannot talk tonight. You can see that property from above today has a house on it. You can see that middle lot line to be removed. It's a remnant lot line. They're cleaning it up, just removing that middle lot line here. We do have one variance request for sidewalk construction. We did not receive any public comment. Do you have any questions for staff?
Engineering on the sidewalk construction?
We're okay with this request.
Thank you. Petitioner?
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Al Cabinets with Cabinets Engineering, representing Pat Roberts. Pat has owned this house for a while, and of course, with the new zoning ordinance, it's zoned R. It's a part of the Riverfront District now, which puts it really into a multifamily zoning category. It's a small lot to be able to do that. We could get real creative and do something small, but it's really going to be better for some other use. So what Pat's idea is to go in and remodel the house, probably do an addition and, short-term rental or just a full-time rental, but upgraded and keep it as a rental property of some sort.
Any questions for petitioner? Very clear, thank you. Anyone decide to speak? Anyone care to speak for or against this petition request? Okay, having heard none, Commissioner, before us, we have S 4625, resurvey lot 15 and 16 of Block 1 Warrior Heights. One variance request, sidewalk construction, engineering has no issues with. Do we have a motion and a second?
Motion?
Mr. Rumsey?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion approved.
All right, Commission, next up, we have a companion case, that is Cedar Forest. This consists of two rezonings. First, one of 14.2 acres from SFR1 to SFR2, and then a second rezoning of 3.7 acres from SFR1 to SFR3, and lastly, a subdivision consisting of 65 residential lots, one open space lot, 66 total, on 27.1 acres. This is located at and around 1322 through 1423 31st Street East, Council District 6. So looking at that property from above, you all are familiar with this. We are just west of Bowers Park. You can see that property today does have some existing structures as well as a lake. You can see the properties are zoned SFR1 today. We're going to be looking at two separate rezoning requests. You can see them boxed here. So first, starting with that northern portion, you can see on that primarily vacant land today, they would like to rezone that piece from SFR1 to SFR2 for an SFR2 subdivision. Looking at the preliminary plat, I've outlined those properties that would be SFR2 here. Just zooming in across the property, you can see there's 75-foot minimum lot width, moving into where it backs up to Cedar Knoll, and then against Bowers Park here. Moving into the second rezoning request, this is 3.7 acres to SFR3. So looking at that portion around 31st Street East in the box here, again, an SFR3 subdivision proposed here. You can see those lots circled on the preliminary plat here. And just to note, this lake area here, that is to remain SFR1. And just zooming in on those lots, you can see it's a 65-foot minimum lot width in SFR3. Here are those just kind of typical layouts, SFR2 on the left, SFR3 on the right. Looking at framework, this property was identified as suburban residential. Both rezoning requests do conform to the plan as well as the intended use. You can see that identified here. Looking at our permitted uses, I've highlighted both SFR2 and SFR3 here. Lastly, the subdivision here, again, 65 residential lots, one open space. So now looking at the properties in total, here's that portion north of 31st Street East with contours, and south, again, that open space lot to remain SFR1 as it is today. Here's that plat without contours. We do have one variance request. We did receive 3 public comments submitted. We do have some slides submitted by a public commenter. And just for your awareness, you've seen this property several times. When it first came before you in January, it had 98 total residential lots, 80 single-family dwellings, 18 townhomes, 1 open space. In March, you all denied the petition with 80 single-family dwelling lots and 1 open space. Tonight, they are at 65 single-family dwelling lots and 1 open space. Do you have any questions for staff?
One variance request on the Stubb Street engineering.
Engineering has no objection to this variance request.
Okay, thank you. Petitioner.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Michael McGuire. They have pretty much said it all, and I know you guys have seen this before, and we've had some lengthy conversations. We've met with the neighborhood association, well, not neighborhood association, they had a meeting that we attended. I believe Chris Haystep actually went last week and met with the gentleman that's kind of heading up the neighbors and their feelings and their position on this neighborhood. We started out initially with, I think, 108 lots. We went down to 80, and now we're at 65. We're matching pretty much Cedar Knoll. The only place that we have R3 is down on the very southern portion of 31st Street, and that's just because we get pushed up against the flood hazard area, so it's just kind of difficult to make those lots work. The balance of the property, all the property to the south, we're still leaving as SFR1 and still plan to leave undisturbed and natural. So I think it's pretty much it. If y'all want to ask some questions, we really feel like we've kind of tried to do our best to make everybody happy, and it doesn't matter if we put one house out here or not. I mean, it's somebody's not going to like it. So I think this is going to be good. I think if Chris develops it, which I think is his intentions, he's going to build a little bit nicer home than was intended before. You guys have all seen what Chris does. He usually does a really, really good neighborhood. So if y'all got any questions, I'll see if I can answer them.
Can you draw on the plat the demarcation between the SFR2 and SFR3? Is it just the townhouse lots that are?
It's lots 1 through 14. And they're going to be single-family residential homes,
Okay.
not townhomes.
Were there townhomes before?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's what I thought. Okay.
Any other questions for petitioner? All right, let's hear what those who signed up to speak have to say.
Chairman, first person signed up is Gary Ward.
Good evening. My name is Gary Ward. I reside at 3033 12th Avenue East in the Princeton Place subdivision. I share a property line with the proposed Cedar Forest subdivision. The two new petitions submitted by the developer for 65 residential lots for Cedar Forest have addressed the previous issue of density, which the commission found to be a problem. Since the density issue appears to be resolved, we are no longer opposed to the approval of the developer petitions for the Cedar Forest development, with some exceptions, and I want to get into those a little bit later. What I wanted to bring before the commission first are concerns that the residents of Princeton Place still continue to have when it comes to stormwater and drainage. And those residents, including myself, have already had to deal with large amounts of stormwater runoff during weather events, particularly the weather events of the last 10 days. Our concern is that the construction of Cedar Forest will not just increase the water runoff, but make it so unmanageable that a number of Princeton Place homes, including mine, will be more prone to flooding. In speaking with Mr. Gardner, he shared with me the process of preventing drainage and flooding issues for new developments in the city. I would ask the commission at this time to allow Mr. Gardner to address the process that would take place specific to the development of Cedar Forest, so me and other Princeton Place residents understand what will be required of the developer and of the city to ensure water is carried away from Princeton Place.
Carter, we care to?
So our department reviews all construction that happens within Tuscaloosa and the planning jurisdiction. So this development will be no exception. For matters of stormwater runoff, the volume of water that leaves the site in the pre-construction state, there will be a requirement that the engineer prepare a hydrology report that reflects what he proposes in his construction documents, so that the after condition, after all the streets, the homes, the driveways, the amount of runoff volume that leaves that property is equal to or less than its pre-development state. There's a multitude of ways that they can accomplish that. But our office's charge is to review those plans, quiz or, ask questions if we're not sure exactly how they're planning on handling a particular thing. In this particular instance, the common property line, the east boundary of Princeton Place and the western boundary of this would be one area that we would be concerned about sheet flow runoff. The street network's probably going to do a great job of catching the internal water, and then they show a plan of discharging it to a stormwater detention area. We'll make sure that the stormwater detention area has enough volume to retain the runoff from a 100-year stormwater event, which is what the city's regulations require.
We're satisfied with that explanation. There will be another speaker who will want to address some of the more specific things that we have with that. Thank you, Mr. Gardner. I appreciate it. Before Mr. Gardner spoke, I mentioned that there were some things that we are concerned about, and I would like to make the commission aware of those and ask the commission to consider as a condition of approval for the petitions that the developer or any future developer or developers be required to complete the following things. First, construct one of the following types of barriers the length of the shared property line between Princeton Place and Cedar Forest lots 41 through 48. The four options are an 8-foot tall masonry wall, an 8-foot tall combination of masonry posts with vertical iron fencing between the posts with shrubs placed at the base, an 8-foot tall iron fence with shrubs placed at the base, or shrubs or hardwood trees that traditionally will grow to a height of a minimum of 8 feet. Second, for privacy reasons, we ask that no two-story homes can be built on lots 41 through 48. Third, we ask that the front facing is to be brick for all 65 homes. This matches the current look of the Princeton Place neighborhood. And finally, beginning with the infrastructure work and going through the entire construction phase of Cedar Forest, the current developer or any future developer or developers or their representative be required to meet with the residents of Princeton Place every 60 days to relay information and update Princeton Place residents on any construction issues. It will be the responsibility of the residents of Princeton Place to arrange the meeting place and to give the developer reasonable notice of the meeting day and time. We believe these four requests are very important to all of us in the Princeton Place neighborhood. Only the first one pertaining to the barrier and the third one pertaining to the brick facades would require a financial commitment from the current developer or any future developer. I respectfully ask the commission to add these four items before any approval of the petitions. Thank you very much.
Have these been shared with the petitioner, this list here? Have you given this to the petitioner?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I have not given that to the petitioner. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Mr. Wright.
Can you provide him a copy? Do you have a copy, extra copy that you can give him just so he can be reviewing those? Okay. Mr. Harrison, who's our next speaker?
Mr. Chairman, next speaker is Sheila Walton.
My name is Sheila Walton. I live at 3018 12th Avenue East, and I'm the speaker that's going to address some of the problems that we if you can slide that over a little bit because you are hiding part of it. Thank you, thank you. I'm going to speak on behalf of my subdivision in terms of the problems that we are concerned with related to hydrology. And first of all, the gutters. You see the small circles on the back end of each one of the sketches of the homes that face Princeton Place. Well, when that water comes out of that gutter, we know that water flows perpendicular to the gutter. It flows out and it goes straight out. That is a concentrated flow. So that flow, based on the contours, is gonna flow into the backyards. Will that work? This flow right here is gonna flow right over here in the backyards of these Princeton Place resident right here. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 homes that's a possibility. And when it flows there, it's gonna bypass, it would never reach the detention pond. What it's gonna do is pond into this lady's backyard, right here, and flow over the roadway. So that is one of our concerns. The other one is that this concentrated flow, the more rain we get, the more their yard is gonna flood. Secondly, you see the highlighted, there are these highlighted lots here. They exceed the zoning coverage. The developer don't really say what they are, or are they homes, or how he was gonna develop them, so we were concerned about that. And then the outline of the zoning here, it does not comply with the zoning regulations as well. It's less than what is required for the distance that a
You mean the
house,
setback?
setback distance, yes.
Setback.
Yeah, it doesn't comply with that. And if we can move forward, the green, do I have any green? Okay, yes. Could we go back to slide 1 for 1 second? The green highlighted areas, all of those areas represent a violation of setback rules. And then these, again, lot 15, all the ones that are larger exceed the coverage area. We can go to 2. Okay. The floodway here. The developer continues to call this a floodway. It is actually a creek. And this creek is listed on the state creek list or stream list. So he needs to call that a creek. And there's another problem. This walkway right here, this crossway, this creek is so turbulent when it rains, this walkway has been washed away. It no longer exists. The water just flows straight across here. And it fills during a heavy rainstorm, and it's quite turbulent. Again, the blue circles represents the areas where it's a violation of the zoning ordinance. Again, there is a plan to reroute the end of 31st Street. We couldn't find the variance, but he showed that there is one today. It was revealed to us this evening, because we couldn't find it when we were reviewing the plans. And we have some issues about the note, number 3. The notes here says, the property partially located in special flood hazard area. Well, that area floods all the time. We didn't get the partially flood hazard area. We live there, so we know that that area floods. And all minimum building lines are front 20 feet, which is a violation of the regulations, and side not less than 5 feet, combined both sides. That is against the regulations. Lot dimensions are approximately only, and it is clear that for SR 1 and 2, there is a clear regulation regarding the size of the lots and the coverage area and the side variance on, front and back and setbacks. So all of those areas, we feel like they should be cleaned up, because if the developer sells this development, then the new developer is going to use exactly what was approved, and we are concerned that it would affect us adversely.
All right, thank you, ma'am. We'll allow Ms. McGuire to come up and address some of these issues. So thank you very much, Mr. McGuire. Let's start with the easy one first. Let's go back to the question about the runoff. And I guess my question is kind of answered a question to you and Mr. Garner is, she said about the drains, gutters. When we factor in that retention of the water, or not to increase what's currently there, do we take into consideration the structure that's built and gutters and things of that
Yes.
nature?
Yes.
So,
Yes, we do. I mean, yes, we do. All the rooftops, roads, streets, sidewalks, all the impervious areas are figured into the additional runoff. And, I mean, to answer her question, I mean, runoff is a liability for us. So you better be sure we're gonna make sure the water doesn't go on somebody else, or we don't increase the water. I mean, if the backyard has got water flowing over there, sometimes there's not much we can do, but we will probably lower the grades of the streets a little bit so that we can slope the lots back to the roads. We may even have it mandatory that their gutters drain to the front, not to the back. So there are things we can do to make it better.
Mr. Carl, you agree with that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, there's multiple ways to
Let me
address
ask you
it.
this possibility. I'm sure everybody's worried about the additional runoff that's currently happening now. And your job is to capture and manage that runoff so it doesn't increase what's currently happening now. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there a possibility by capturing it, especially the interior lots, that could actually lower the amount of runoff that could potentially hit that creek and that open space area?
I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to detain it because we typically have to detain for what they call a 100-year storm event. So the ponds end up being pretty good size. But I mean, yes, it is possible, certainly.
But we're not going to increase it.
Not going to increase it. And, you know, the property to the south where the creek is, the term floodway and floodway fringe comes from the floodway maps. So she is correct. It is Cribbs Mill Creek, but the creek is basically in a floodway, or what they use the term floodway.
Mr. McGuire, regarding the gutters, I mean, I know on my house, my gutters come down and they go into a big black pipe that runs into my yard, and so I don't ever see the water that comes out of my gutter. I mean, is that a normal, do people do that, or is my house just old and that's why it's done like that?
Some people do it and some people don't. If it's a spec home, they typically don't. If it's a custom home, they typically will. You know, it depends on the amount of fall and slope. I mean, sometimes it's a good thing to let it sheet flow out on the surface and the grass because it absorbs into the ground. You don't have quite as much runoff. So, I mean, there's a plus side to that and a negative side too.
Well, for me, the biggest thing was to answer her, we go back to the water issue and based on the plan that we got to provide, and it's obviously monitored and agreed to and blessed by our staff, who I think in a previous life did this as well. So I think he understands what you'll be doing. So I think even Mr. Ward agreed that that was a pretty good working plan. The question about the violation of the setback on the lots, can you address that? I mean,
Now, item number 4, if you look, that's actually a note that she was referring to that the city asked me to put on there. I mean, those setbacks are verbatim what they asked me to put on there.
right. So he is meeting all the setback requirements based on the SFR2 request.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
And 3.
And 3, right, okay.
Yeah,
I'll make
and just
sure
to clarify a little bit further, something that might not be clear to the general public is the 1/3 reduction that you get for corner lots. And so that might be where some of the confusion is, where you get that 20-foot. If you got a corner lot, you have two front setbacks, 2 side setbacks, instead of a rear setback.
All right. Now, do you want to tackle Mr. Ward's request on?
I know the masonry wall has been a request, and I know Mr. Hayslip had said no to that. I mean, you're talking about $400,000.
Just for the record, what is the current requirements as a?
Right, so he's showing everything that would be currently required.
So he is meeting all
Right.
SFRs.
SFR3, SFR2, there's no buffer standards. It's just the setbacks, the lot sizes, the lot widths. Of course, the infrastructure, everything meets our standards in our ordinance.
They typically, I could not get Chris. I tried to get a text message to him, and he didn't answer, but, you know, I really can't answer these without him saying yes or no. They typically do some sort of privacy fence or fencing, but I don't know for sure that they'll do that, but.
But you'll have to obviously meet the requirements based on the land development permit. And-
Yes.
Okay. You want to tackle the next one real quick?
Two-story homes, I don't think he can rule that out. I mean, they actually had, they've got some two-story homes that are actually really nice homes, and they're bigger homes. I mean, they're gonna help the value of everybody's home.
I mean, I guess the reason I'm asking all these questions, as a body, we really can't, as long as you're meeting the standards and requirements of the city staff, unless you want to offer these up,
Correct.
you have to be agreeable to us so you make them a condition.
Right, we can't impose.
We can't impose any of this. You'd have to, that's why I didn't know if you'd seen these, and if Mr. Hayslip had seen these, to address Mr. Ward's requests. I don't think this is this body's position to do that. Not without it being a staff recommendation or a fire and safety issue. I think this would have to be negotiated between you and Mr. Ward.
Okay.
And other neighborhood members.
I mean, this is the first time I've seen it, or we would have had some answers.
Any other comments from you on anything you heard from those?
No, sir. I mean, I think it's going to be, it's in a great location. It's going to be a nice development. I don't really, I understand the density issues from the very beginning, but, I mean, I think we're kind of at a density now that's got to be acceptable. I would think it would be.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Nothing new was brought up in his rebuttal. He was really just answering questions for us. So with that being said, we'll close and have a discussion amongst this body before we start taking our votes. So, any commission comments?
I think the developer has moved extraordinarily to try to meet the desires of the neighborhood. I think you can get too pushy, you know.
Just make sure y'all speak in your mics so
I'm
everyone
sorry.
can hear.
I think the developer's done a good job of trying to meet the desires of the neighbors. And I've been real impressed by how much they've moved on this thing.
We first started seeing this thing in January. It went from, I think, 98, 62 total units. So I agree with you. I mean, a lot of developers move it, make that commitment.
And I think also during this period of time, we've also evolved into a local developer who we know has done projects before in this community. And as Mr. McGuire said, he has typically lived up to his reputation of being a quality builder and developer. So that helps me feel better about the development. And again, you're right, he has definitely tried to make the effort to address the density issue. Now, the issues and requests that are being made, I think that, Mr. Ward, if you want to try to work with the developer, I mean, that's between this body, between your body of people and the developer. But any other comments?
Density was a big issue with me, and I appreciate Mr. McGuire and them working to fix it. Something's gonna be built here, and I think it's improved what's going there. And I really appreciate y'all working to kind of make it livable. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, folks, here we go. Haven't heard anything else. We have a companion case with the first one being, you want to do this one first, the 44?
You can go in any order. You can just do the.
Let's start with the top so I can check them off. All right, we have before us Z 1325, Mr. Hayslip, petition rezone 14.2 acres from SFR1 to SFR2. We have a motion and a second.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Rumsey.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, motion approved. Before us, we have Z 1525, Mr. Hesseth, petition to rezone 3.7 acres from SFR 1 to SFR 3.
Motion.
Second.
Ms. Hornsby?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes, motion approved. Commissioner, before us, we have a S 4425, Cedar Forest resurvey consisting of 65 residential lots and one open space lot with one variance request connection to the existing Stub Street, which engineering has no issues with. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Rumsey?
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, motion approved.
All right, Commission, last on the agenda tonight, we have another companion case. That is the Avenue subdivision. This is a rezoning and subdivision at 1700 23rd Avenue. They're looking to rezone 4.8 acres from SFR 1 to SFR 5, and then complete a subdivision of 30 residential lots and one open space. You all are familiar with this property. You saw it in January. You can see that property today has one structure on it. You can see it's SFR 1. Again, they're looking to rezone from SFR 1 to SFR 5 to allow for a subdivision. You can see they're proposing duplexes on separate lots, 30 different lots here, one open space. Here's some renderings of the proposed development from above and on the street. For future land use, framework did identify this area as traditional neighborhood edge. This does conform to the plan in terms of the use. Here again is that identification here. In SFR 5, here are permitted uses. Moving into the subdivision, again, 30 lots, one open space. This is that plat with contours, without. We have one variance request. We did not receive any public comment. Do you have any questions for staff?
Engineering on that stub request?
We're okay with that request.
Thank you. Petitioner?
Good evening. Tom Sims with Longleaf Engineering on behalf of the developer. This is a subdivision that you guys had approved a couple months back, but it was also a rezoning case in an SPD, and so it had to go through to City Council. And prior to us going to City Council, we got some feedback from some of the council members, and they were a little bit hesitant on approving the subdivision with a rental property that he had proposed previously. And so through some discussions with some council members, we have developed this new plan, which is duplexes, which are really kind of side-by-side townhomes. They will be for sale. And so this is the new plan for the subdivision.
Staff, one of the persons contacted me about the access easement for the adjoining. Can you address that for the record, please?
Yes, sir. Currently down there on the lower right-hand side of the drawing, or in the northeast corner, there is a driveway that comes basically almost straight across from, I think that's 23rd Avenue, is that? I believe that's what that is. But yes, it encroaches on Mr. Smith's property right now as a driveway and a utility power pole through there. And Mr. Smith has agreed to grant a permanent ingress, egress, and access easement for the utilities and the driveway so that nothing has to be relocated.
So it's not going to, but this drawing doesn't show that.
It does not. This drawing was submitted prior to us having those discussions.
So where does that driveway access? The second lot?
It actually accesses those 3 lots on the east side there. Yep, and one more. That's right. The one to the farthest left on your screen is currently undeveloped, but there are 2 houses on the first 2 lots that use that driveway currently.
The third one is currently undeveloped?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Can you start?
Okay.
Yeah, X those out. Yeah. Okay. So staff will make sure that's on the plat. You make your final submittal.
Yeah, and if you would, I'd like for you to just show that on the construction plans as well, so we can look at it with the grading.
Not a problem.
Agree with that?
Yes, Yes, sir.
Any other questions for petitioner? Has this plan been viewed by those commissioners or council people that,
Yes, sir.
okay, so they're,
It seems to be in line with their thoughts.
all right, fair enough. Make sure. Don't want any other surprises, do you?
Agreed.
All right, anyone care to speak for or against? We don't have anybody sign up. Anyone? All right. Having heard none. All right, commission, before us, we have a companion case. Let's start with Z 1425, Longleaf Engineering, petition rezone 4.8 acres, SFR 1 to SFR 5. Do I have a motion and a second?
Move to accept?
Second.
Ms. Hornsby?
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion approved. Commissioner, S 4525, the Avenue subdivision, 30 lots, open space,
Move to approve?
and one, stop, slow down. We got a
Sorry.
variance
Did I let
request.
you-
Connection.
Did I step on you?
You did, you stepped on me. Engineering, you okay with those? He said yes, so therefore now you can go, Ms. Moore.
Okay, now I would like to move to approve this.
Mr. Rumsey?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion approved. All right, anything else? Meeting adjourned.